about prayer. And then we're going to have someone else come up. They're going to talk about living holy in the culture. Then we're going to worship a little bit. Is that all right? All right. Now, don't be dry on me tonight. It's Friday night now. It's Friday night. When you come to be dry, when you come to just look and spectate, we came to worship, right? That's what I want. Give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah. Now give it to me. Good man.
So, I was really, obviously we know God's timing is perfect. I was really hoping I wouldn't go first because I was just making a big gulp in the car with the word that God gave me for myself. And then he told me that was to be shared today, so I kind of put my tail behind my butt and just went out as always. But we're here, so we're going to be obedient, and hopefully it's received well. Hopefully it's received with the right heart, and we can all walk out of here knowing that we are the church, we're not just doing church. So the whole concept that I wanted to bring to you guys tonight, I had a whole line of scriptures planned out, and honestly, just praying during the prayer, it didn't feel right. Like, not to say that it doesn't feel right to read the word, but the message for tonight that God gave me was, I'm calling you out to call you up. Now, when we think about prayer, it's just, we've been taught how to pray. The Lord even gave us an example with the Lord's Prayer. I think we made this too complicated. Prayer is a conversation with God, just like you're talking to your best friend. It's a conversation. Even for the worship team, when y'all worshiping tonight, it's clear that y'all have a relationship with God because you're here and don't need a church building to do this, which is really cool to see. Now, the one thing that the Lord really impressed on me for tonight was that we've become a culture of wish list Christians. Meaning, we know what concerns to bring to God, but it's typically the only reason that we pray. Including definitely myself. Let me clarify this. Everything I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking from what my life is like, and you're basically listening to a sermon God gave me for me. We've become a group of wish list Christians where we know exactly what to ask God for without thinking about, is this even in His will? We've become a culture where it's great to write a Christmas wish list. We know what I want here. I know I want this. I know I want this car. I need this bill to get paid. I need to make sure I have money for this. I need to make sure I get here safe. All great concerns. But the Word makes it very clear in Romans that if it's not in God's will, it ain't going to happen. And it makes it very clear that if our motive is about us, and our motive isn't about what God's kingdom is about, we can kiss those prayers goodbye. In the most kind way of putting it. But the Word also tells us this, that if we are praying with the right motive, if we are praying for God's kingdom and for what His heart is after, as believers, that we're called to have, that even faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. Right? Most of us probably don't see what we want to see in our life because we don't fully believe God's going to answer it. And the reason I say that is because the Lord asks us to have the faith the size of a mustard seed, y'all. Literally the smallest seed that exists. He's saying, this is enough. It's enough. But see, we either think in the realm of ostrich egg faith, massive faith, or none. If it didn't happen when I wanted to, it's clearly not going to happen. If it didn't happen the way I want to see it, it's probably not going to happen. When in fact, the Word tells us through James, it may just not be the right timing. Or maybe it might be that God's wanting to give you something even bigger than what you're asking for, but your heart ain't ready to receive it. So the call I have for you guys tonight that God gave me was very simply this. When we're praying tonight, let's think of two things. One, what's my heart posture behind my prayer as to what I'm bringing to God's attention? That He already knows about, by the way. He already knows what's going on. The question is, why am I praying about this? Am I praying about this in the context of God's kingdom growing and Him getting glory? And once I've got that checked off the list, because you can have that heart posture, it's very possible. Then we ask God, then we're going to the perspective of, am I asking God for something He can get glory for? And what I mean by that is, are you praying for something that's big enough? A pastor that I really respect one time told me, if the prayer you're asking for is something you can do, it's not big enough for God. Meaning if it's something that you can probably accomplish and you're asking God to say, help me accomplish this. If the result of that is you get glory from it, sorry, it ain't going to happen. If the result is He can get glory for it, and you're willing to be a vessel to give Him glory for it, you better be ready for those floodgates to open. But we see what happened with the store. People have been praying for the store. They've been sowing into the store. The word says, in, I think it's Matthew? No, it's 2 Corinthians. It talks about those who sow sparingly, reap sparingly. Those who sow generously, reap generously. Meaning, when you're praying tonight, are you sowing into your relationship with God sparingly? You will reap sparingly. You'll see Him in the small ways. You'll see small adjustments. If you sow into it tonight with all you've got, to the one who made you, to the one who breathed life into, who woke you up this morning for today. If you sow into that prayer time tonight with that energy and that passion, you'll see God move in ways you've been waiting for Him to do. You just now gotten to a point where you were ready to receive it. Most of us aren't ready to receive our prayers, which is why we don't receive them in the first place. So when we pray tonight, I want to really challenge you guys. Are you really pursuing Him in a new, fresh, and generous way? Saying, God, tonight is yours. I'm not worried about what's happening on back home. I'm not worried about when I'm getting home tonight. Tonight is my time with you. And if I give it to you, you'll show me a side of you I will never be able to forget. That's what He wants from us every day. So let tonight be a staple in your relationship with God. If you walked away, come on back. He's ready. If you've been there, but you maybe hit your max from last week, let's max out again. Let's go even higher, because the world needs it and the church needs it today. Just because you go to a church doesn't mean that you're the church. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings here. It's just the case. Just because you show up at a building doesn't mean you are the people. So tonight, press in and let God call you to a new standard. Because that's ultimately the standard we were given in the first place.
Hey, how everybody doing? Y'all good? I need y'all good. I've been with kids all day, summer camp. I need y'all to talk to me. Y'all good? Oh, good. Listen.